हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वार्म वेलकम टू आस्क असलम। और आज की प्रोग्राम शुरू करते हैं कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग न्यूज से, एज यूजुअल वी डू, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी विल टेक सम क्वेश्चंस आल्सो व्हिच आई हैव ऑलरेडी गॉट विद मी. इफ यू हैव any question which you want me to address, so please write on the comment and I'll be happy to take it if we have the time within this tight schedule. So let's begin with the first news, which is quite a promising one amid this crisis which is going on across different countries for the study abroad point of view. So this news is focusing more on, and this very latest news, focusing more on to the countries which are not necessarily being among the top five among the in terms of the students choosing the study abroad destination, but very important, seeing the future of the study abroad trends which are going to be changed in the coming years. So Ireland and New Zealand are winning in a big way for being termed as student-friendly study abroad destination, and then we have got the reasons for this. There are few reasons which the studies have showed. The famous ones is basically because of the fall or the challenges which we are facing among the big five countries like US, UK, Canada, whereby we have seen recently that visa is a major challenge. To getting an appointment in the embassy is a challenge. The living cost has gone over the roof in these countries. A country like UK is also facing the limited job opportunities for the students in the job market, and hence students and the industry is slowly but definitely shifting its attention from these three big countries to the new emerging destination. And this is where Ireland, New Zealand score very high. Though it's not necessarily going to be the new destination. Ireland is there for last 8 years in the market promoting its destination, but you know that takes time. And New Zealand, of course, was once upon a time among the top five, what we call big five countries to look for in terms of study abroad, but it lost its charm just pre-COVID, and after that they didn't recover much. But I'm really happy to see that these two countries are going to play a big role, and looking forward to welcoming with their welcoming policies towards the international students. Second, the report also suggested that the second reason why people are looking towards Ireland, New Zealand is because their visa predictability. So the visa process is streamlined, very much predictable, unlike other countries like Canada and USA, whereby suddenly you know that morning you wake up and you get the news that now no longer Indian students would be given any appointment. The next 2 weeks you say, okay, appointments is open, but students are complaining, we are not getting the appointment, though the government is announcing that it's been open for the international students. Then business visa seeker from India who would like to travel to US are getting the appointment dates for the next 6 months and 8 months. It's just foolishness, and this is what is happening. And amidst these issues and challenges, UK and Ireland still makes Ireland and New Zealand makes still a better opportunities for the students as well as for the travelers. Also, these two countries are termed as less costlier as compared to US and UK, and hence students can save a considerable amount of money when it comes down to paying for their living expenses and even taking the tuition fees into account. Also, Ireland and New Zealand offers you a stayback option. So Ireland offers a 2 year stayback, whereas New Zealand offers up to 3 years stayback. And recently, New Zealand had announced, which I announced in my previous session, that the international students can work 25 hours per week instead of 20 hours. So it is a welcoming gesture by the New Zealand government, inviting international students, giving them extra 5 hours to work whilst they're studying, and hence it means that they can earn a little bit more to support their living expenses. So these are some of the important reasons why you may look into these two countries for your study abroad destination, and maybe just going beyond the traditional approach of looking at US, UK, Canada. Second, very encouraging news is coming in the form of the minority panel helping the 12 neo Buddhist students to secure the overseas scholarship, which is unheard. At least I've never heard this kind of things in the past, which again kind of very encouraging by the Maharashtra State Minority Commission to step in to help these 12 neo Buddhist students from Nagpur to go for higher education and abroad. This also tells you that as a student, if you are self-funded or you are also looking for any help for the finance, you can approach to the government schemes. You can apply to the scholarships which are easily available, and also you can apply and get the bank loan, which there are many financial institutions which will be able to help you. Well, so the Maharashtra State Minority Commission has kept aside the scholarship which could be ranging from 52 lakhs rupees to 1 crore to support these students, and they have listed the names of the students also who are eligible to go for the scholarship based or the government based funding to study abroad. The institutes who are welcoming these students are University of Bristol from UK, University of Sydney, and University of Melbourne from Australia. And they will be opting for the programs like cybersecurity, MBA, international business, computer science, and data science. So these are the programs these students will be eligible to go for. There were some initial hiccups in terms of clearing the administrative activities, administrative policies, but I think it's getting cleared now, and then the students are ready to go. And they had kept certain conditions that who can apply, and eventually these 12 students would be getting fund from Maharashtra State Minority Commission to achieve and to fulfill their dream of studying abroad. The next news is coming from Tamil Nadu, whereby Tamil Nadu government has allotted a 90 crore rupees for SC and ST class students for the overseas scholarship. Again, it's a big move coming in from the government to support the Indian students to go abroad. And that also tells you a lot of things, that going abroad is not just a fashionable thing. It's a serious activity and serious initiative, not only by the in students and parents as an individual, but also by the government. And government is supporting this norms so that our people get high quality of education from the world, come back and maybe contribute to the betterment of the country and the economy. So under this scholarship, so they are targeting SC students to help them, and they have increased the grant which will be available to them from 65 crore rupees. So that's something which is very unique. And this year, 190 scholarships have provisionally sanctioned, 52 for the March intake and remaining to be awarded for the September intake. Approximately 500 applications were received by the Tamil Nadu government for this particular scheme. Now, the scheme was restructured in 2023 to simplify the process and increase the revamp program. Increase the revamp funding and then raise the scholarship amount. Previously, it was stalled due to pandemic, but now it's been reopened, and I think it's a great opportunity for the students of Tamil Nadu who are seeking this scholarship. Take your chance, apply, and you never know that you would be completely funded by your own state under this particular scheme. So they have identified the universities to gain the admissions. So the 5 in QS top 25, or 43 in top 100, 136 in top 500. Likewise, there are different methodology which has been applied in order to make these students eligible for this kind of scholarships. And the next news is coming from the US point of view. I know that a lot of time when you hear the news coming in from US, it's not really good, especially for the education point of view. So Indian students are still now. Earlier, we had a problem of getting an appointment. Then that was kind of sorted out, but now another problem is get the students who got an appointment, apply for the visa. They are facing the visa refusals in spite of having all the documents in place, in spite of having the right intention and right course, country, right university selected. Still, the government or the visa embassy, visa officers are not happy enough to support the students for this particular intake. So the crisis just weeks before, it was reported that under 2 weeks remaining and the US fall semester is going to start, thousands of students are facing uncertainty of F1 visas, and they've been sharply facing the declining of the visa. I mean, they're not getting through the visa process, which is really bad. I mean, after having a patience and waiting for entire year, completing all formalities, you just in a day you find out that no, the visa has not been approved, though the government, the university has accepted your application, awarded you the admissions or maybe scholarship as well. But that's something which is very sad, which is happening. So, despite of strong academic and financial credentials, many students have reported, as I mentioned, the visa refusals, and then they are really not happy the way the US thing is going on. And from this March to May 2025, the F1 category of the visa, which we call the student visa for the US issuance to student visa, fell by 27% compared to the same period previous year, only 9,900 students visa were refused versus 13,400 in this year alone. I believe that's a very alarming time, and it's a high time for the students also to now look out for some alternative options, because it's ridiculous to work your efforts out for the entire year, and then in the end, in spite of having university accepting you, you still had to face the rejection from the embassy, wherein they are saying no, you're not fit to get the visa. It's really a joke, and hence I would always suggest the students to look out for the alternatives to us is not equivalent to the world. Remember, there are lots of countries. I gave you the example of Ireland and New Zealand. Germany could be another very, very good option where the government is very willing to accept. In fact, you can also look for the nearby countries like UAE, Malaysia. Malaysia government has recently announced a 1 year stay back option. I mean, you can get the 1 year open work permit after the completion of course, and the fees are very reasonable. Malaysian university would offer you the similar program of better standards, and these universities would rank among top 250 or 500 in the world QS ranking. Still, the fees could be as low as 4 lakhs to 6 lakhs a year. You heard it right, 4 lakh to 6 lakhs rupees in a year as a tuition fees, plus a living expense, which would be approximately around 3 to 5 lakhs, depending upon your lifestyle. That's it. And with this investment, little investment, you can enter into Malaysia, complete your education. Just imagine investing close to 7 to 8 lakh rupees to Malaysia, all inclusive, as compared to countries like US, UK, with all these certain uncertainties. You're still paying around 15 lakhs to 25 lakhs a year just as a tuition fee. Friends, it makes a lot of sense to look out for some really, really good, interesting options like this. Not only Malaysia, I mean, even I would be advocating you to have a look at a country like Hungary. Uh, uh, Budapest is ranked consistently among the best places to visit in Europe, or one of the most reasonable places, one of the most travel friendly, and visitor friendly places. But still, it's equally famous. Very less, very, if I mean, not very often it has been talked about. It's also very famous for the education point of view. I've got a lot of successful stories whereby the students are going studying in Budapest and now been settled down with the big job opportunities. I have one of my students who is also now representing the Hungary international cricket team as a cricketer. So there are big opportunities which are there in a country like Hungary, whereby the fees would be just around 4 to 6 lakhs a year. You heard it right, 4 to 6 lakh rupees a year as a tuition fees, which could be equivalent to what otherwise you would be paying here in India to the private university or more. So hence, it would make sense to go to this kind of opportunities where you can fulfill your study abroad dreams without having such issues to face, which is very likely to be faced in the major countries like US, UK, Canada at the moment. Okay, so with this question answer session, sorry, with this new session, let's move on to the question answer session, and let's take the first question of the program. So, number one question is do I need to come back to India during semester breaks, or can I chill abroad forever? Okay, so during the term break, you have a choice. Both the ways you're okay. If you get a term break, you're missing your family, why not to just take a ticket, and you can, on the same visa, you can come back, spend some time with your family, and go back on the same visa. You don't need to apply for a separate visa. However, I usually advise and strongly advise the students that do not waste the summer break just to come back to India. I may sound a little more practical, but yeah, that's the way to look at it. I would suggest that use the summer break to either take up some opportunity like projects, some work experience during this period, or take up a project which will allow you to travel to different parts of the same country where you're studying, or maybe at least in that continent. Like, for example, if you're going to Europe, like Ireland, France, Germany, take this opportunity to travel across the different countries of Europe, work out your way to have some money saved for this purpose, invest into traveling to different countries rather than just coming back to India, because that will add a lot of value of your time, or return a lot of big return on your time invested for study abroad. Because remember that you're not just going to get a foreign degree, you're going abroad so that you can also get an international exposure in real sense. An international exposure cannot be obtained just by going to one country, getting the degree, and coming back to India. An international exposure means at least try to visit 5, 6, 10 different countries. I remember one of my students, she chose to go to Switzerland, I think around 10, 12 years back for a bachelor course. She used to do her internship during the study because she was a hospitality student. She used to make good amount of money, save a lot of money, and she had a very clear goal that over the period of this 3 years of bachelor degree, I would like to visit as many countries as possible in Europe. And to my surprise, in these 3 years, she managed to visit. Sorry, here is my Siri waking up. Okay, so in these 3 years, she managed to visit 22 countries, completely relying on her saving without asking a single rupee for that travel purpose from the parents from India. And that's an amazing experience she added to her profile. So now imagine if you as a student, 22 countries उसने किया है, छोड़ो आप 22 countries, आप 10 country में travel कर लो during this summer breaks and any kind of study breaks. That would add a lot of value to the future employer, and he would see you that you're not a student just wanted to go back. And because they will always ask you a question like, what have you done beyond your studies when you are here for the international studies? So if you say that I have traveled to these many countries, I've gathered these traveling experiences, I got to know a little bit about the culture and the people, that's add opportunity for you to be more sellable as a professional in the job market, or to be more be available to be selected by these companies who really needs an international mindset of the people to come and work in their organization. Long answer, I know, but very important question. So I would suggest that please invest that time, travel across the country of your study destination, or travel across the continent where you're studying, and try to gain the maximum international exposure in real sense before you settle down in any one place. Moving to the next question: will foreign university accept my backlog history? Okay, so backlog, to some students who may not understand, backlog means if you have not cleared your papers here whilst presumably you are pursuing your bachelor's degree here in India, going for masters, and you may have not cleared 2, 3, 5, 10, sometimes 20 papers. Mostly the engineering students, they face these challenges. So whether the foreign university will accept those backlogs or those unclear papers, but which you will eventually clear. So my assumption is that if you have not cleared the paper during your studies, but by the last semester of bachelor degree, I assume that you would have cleared all this paper. So hence you may have a 2 to 20 backlogs, depends what kind of backlogs we are talking about. Yes, there are many universities again who would insist on either not having a backlog or having a limited number of backlogs. So a university may clearly define that we can take you provided you do not have more than 5 backlogs or 8 backlogs, or 8 times unclear paper. So that could be the one set of university. But there are other universities also whereby they may not just judge you as a student based on your backlogs, but they will judge you as a student based on your holistic approach in terms of your profile, your academics, your international, your exposure as a student while studying here in India, your extracurricular activities, your sports activities, or your other than academic achievements. It could also mean that how do you fare during the time of admission interviews, if they have any. Then how do you present yourself? What's your communication skill? So there are different ways university might judge you, and hence it's not just a backlog or academics all the time for all the universities. Answer is you would have definitely many universities accepting you in spite of you having many backlogs, but you may have other than academics to showcase that you are overall good personality for the university to accept. Yes, please do connect to the responsible counselors and those who have got the experience of handling these backlog cases, or you can connect Aliff, and we'll be more than happy to help you to find out the right solution for this particular issue. Question number 3: How do I choose between two universities if both have similar rankings? Well, good question. So again, a lot of times students rely on to the ranking as a parameter before they select the university. There's nothing good or bad or right or wrong in this, but yeah, this could be one of the approaches which you'd like to adapt to select the university. My take in that is that the ranking is one of the many factors you should consider to identify the university. The reason why I'm saying, and I don't want to give you just shortcut answer, the easiest answer would be that okay, beyond ranking, look at the university location, look at the university expertise in that particular subject, etc. But let me just like expand this answer so that you get the holistic view of this particular solution. First thing first, there are different types of ranking in this world. You would have the ranking based on the university for the overall ranking of the university, or you could have the subject wise ranking of the university, or you could have a university being ranked based on their location, region where they are located. So if they are located in Asian side of the world, they may have a Asian regional ranking. If they are into Europe, Europe ranking. If they are located somewhere else, but they are following the world ranking, then there will be a world ranking. Then they could have a subject wise ranking that for this particular discipline, how do they rank. So there are different types of ranking to look for. So you need to first check whether this university rank across this platform in a different way. Then again, there are different platforms based on the region, etc., etc. There are different companies who rank. For example, QS ranking, Times Higher Education ranking, US News ranking, you have got Shanghai ranking. So there are different platforms who rank, and again within the platform there would be different segments of ranking. Okay, so the point is ranking cannot be just one parameter, because this university who ranks better in this platform under this category of the ranking may not fare well on some other platform on some other parameters of ranking. So it's very subjective. You cannot see all the university ranking across the platform across the board same way. No, it doesn't happen. Next thing about the ranking, there are many universities who may not even rank higher. It's just because they do not wish to participate in ranking process. They don't believe in ranking. In fact, they say that we don't need to be ranked by these private companies who may not know the education as good as we know, and hence we do not need any certification of ranking for our quality of education. And that, likewise, there are many universities who do not participate at all in terms of ranking race. So there are many universities, especially which are famous in the world, are university from Germany who do not follow any sorts of ranking, and they believe that we are the best in the world, or we are among the best in the world for the quality of education. And yes, we do not need the world to tell us how much we rank versus with some other universities. Another thing about the ranking, there are some ranking which are also paid ranking. Not necessarily the university would directly pay for their ranking, but they will do certain things for those platform. They will invest in some other ways. They will do some activities in a way that that platform may want to rank them higher. And hence, you may not necessarily know the exact reason why the university has been ranked higher. Another thing about the ranking, the overall ranking usually defines the university's major factors of being good in research work. Now, if you are a student going for a bachelor course or a master course, and you have no intention to go into research or PhD programs in future, how does that overall ranking of the university, whereby around 60% of contribution to the ranking has been made based on the research work of that university, the patents filed by those number of patents filed by the university, or the PhD faculties employed by the university, etc. How does it matter to you as a student? So, example, if you're going for sports management, there's one college called Springfield College. I bet that you must have never heard about that college. And that college is a college. It's not even a university, right? And if it is a college you're not heard of here in India, for example, it's not even a university, and you're searching for best university for sports management or best university in the world, and then you say, okay, I want to go to this university because it ranks best, but you don't know that whether it ranks or it has got the facilities what you require for the sports management. The college which I named for US, Springfield College, it's a college, not a university, but it is a inventor of basketball and volleyball. The two international games have been gifted or been invented by this particular college. Now imagine if you want to go for sports management, wouldn't you want to go to this kind of college who has produced the champions? They have got the wall of fame where all the athletes who passed out, who have graduated, who learned the sports management, represented that college and went up to the Olympic level to win the medals, are or have studied. Don't you want to go to this kind of college and study? Yes, you do. But this college may not rank higher. It just they don't participate, or they have got a different system to follow. But the system works because they have produced so many athletes. So this is what sometimes we need to keep in mind. Now coming to the point that how do I see that if both the ranks are better or equally better, then you need to see the other factors like the location, whether you want the city based location of the university or you want the outside city. It's a personal preference, personal choice. Some people do not like cities life, some people want to go to the quiet place to study. Another one, what's a budget? Very important. How much you are ready to invest if both the universities are ranked equally good. Then the budget comes into picture. Third, the education model with this institute follow. Like they have got a small classroom model or big lecture hall model. So in small classroom, you may have a students around 25 to 40. So student faculty ratio would be higher as compared to the big class hall lecture halls wherein you would be one among 500, one among 300 attending that lecture. So can you imagine yourself sitting in that back big crowd and call yourself a student where you may not have a chance to directly talk to the faculty? So are you okay? Again, there's nothing good or bad of having these two different education model. It's just that are you okay to follow any one of the models, and do you know that which university follow which kind of model? Plus I would also suggest beyond academics, look at some other factors like look at the student clubs of that university, that do they have enough student clubs means the student groups for a particular purposes. So they have got a social club, cultural club, sports club, health club, environmental club. There could be hundreds of clubs. On an average, big university may have 50 to 100 clubs or unions or groups of students who come and has found the one common interest. So that also adds a lot of exposure beyond classroom to your education. So look at that factor. Look at the factor like the international student mix of that university. According to me, you should not go to the university which is being overly populated by one, two, or five destinations or five countries. Then what will happen? You will go for the international exposure, but you will land up being a friend only with Indians because the second largest population studying on campus is from India. There is no proper international mix, or maybe China, or maybe some other country. So I would always suggest to the students that look at the international mix of the students on campus so that you get an opportunity to interact with different nationalities. You don't want to go to study abroad and make friendship and groups only with Indians in that abroad country. Then what is the point of going for study abroad, right? In my opinion, I would always suggest you do not necessarily learn from your education, but the amount of learning you will get it from your colleagues, your friends who come from different culture, different countries. Amazing. It's out of the world to explain, and it will leave a big impression on your mindset so that you think differently because you have interacted with German, Chinese, French, Brazilian, Hungarian, and you know that unconsciously, consciously picked up a lot of things from their culture and their way of thinking, that your mindset has become so global now. So that's my advice, my friend. Always look into some other important factors. My next question: if I show bank balance for Visa, can I withdraw it the next day? Well, it's a very Visa point of view question. I don't know which country you are referring here, but the point remains, the logical answer remains here is that if you show the bank balance and you're applying for the visa, it's always suggested that you wait till you get the visa. assuming that you're showing that fund here in Indian account. Okay, it's not a blocked fund by the foreign banks. Assuming that you are showing your parents' bank account here, and you've been asked to show, say, equivalent to 10 lakh rupees in your bank account, and you're showing that bank account, applying for the visa, and after getting the visa, only you touch that fund. That's strong advice, because embassy may want to verify your bank balance. They want to know whether that fund is there which you're showing on paper while making a visa application, and they may come back anytime to the bank to cross verify that amount. And hence you do not want to withdraw during that period, assuming that I have applied for the visa. Now the visa is going to come because my interview went well, and I can use the fund. And this time, sometimes the student make mistake, and I had this a few students who, without their informing us, they withdrew the amount because they had some need and they used it. And when the embassy cross verified, they see that okay, bank balance saying 10 lakhs, but in the bank when they went to verify, it was just 2 lakhs or 5 lakhs, and hence they had no evidences that from where the money is came in and gone for. And they may see this bank balance letter maybe fraud, or maybe not sufficient enough to give them a confidence to give you visa, because you are not showing minimum balance which they require to show, even for that visa period point of view. Okay, so the point is that don't touch the money unless the visa comes, so that you would be assured of getting the visa first and then use it for any other purposes later on. Okay, with this, I think we would conclude this session. I hope that you enjoyed this session as much I do presenting to you. And if you have any question which you would like me to answer, please do write here in the comment, and I will come back next week to address those questions. Until that time, stay safe and stay healthy. Take care of yourself and have a good weekend. Bye bye.